Right, so welcome back. Let's talk about the Ghana Publishing Company. What are they up to? What have they been doing all this while? And why is it even important that you and I will know what the company is all about? We've been joined by the Managing Director, David Asante Boateng. It's been a long time, I'm sure you heard of this man, from the Let My Vote Count Alliance days till now. And I'm told there's something coming up in Nkoko, but what is it? I'll find out for you on the show today. Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Good morning and good to see you. Good to see you. We haven't been over here for some time now.
In a long while.
Yeah. Interestingly, we've been productively engaged and giving it life, and we succeeded. So I'm happy my appearance is on a good note.
Okay.
To share beautiful and success story of the state institution we have gladly transformed.
So you say you have transformed it. What have you been doing? What have you done, really?
Thank you so much. Let me say good morning to our viewers and good morning to the people of Ghana, and good morning to your very good self and to the crew over here for the awesome work you are doing to serve Mother Ghana. And of course, good morning to the people, my staff and management at the Ghana Publishing Company Limited. We have, over the last few years, chalked a few success stories that I think are worthy of sharing.
Okay.
After elections, it's time to govern. And within the governance sector, institutions are managed. And all these institutions have heads that we report to. The sector ministry, board of directors, giving policy direction to the agencies and institutions. My institution that we are in charge of, the Ghana Publishing Company Limited, is under the Information Ministry.
Okay.
We report directly to the Information Ministry, and of course, as a limited liability company with board of directors, the company was converted from a corporation to a limited liability company.
Which means you're a profit-making entity.
Absolutely, we are. We report to the board of directors, and then. But of course, the shares in the company are held in trust by the Finance Ministry. Of course, under the SIGA Act that was passed recently, the Act confers the shareholding right of state institutions that are even limited liability company like ours. So our shares are held in trust by the Finance Ministry, who represent the interest of the government under the SIGA Act and all that. So we do business at Ghana Publishing. We are expected to make profits. And after we make profit, we are expected to declare dividends to the Finance Ministry. I was lucky to be appointed by the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to manage the institution in 2017 under the leadership of Dr. Mustafa Hamid, then the Information Minister, a very good friend, a big brother, currently the MPA boss. Now, when we assumed office, I remember Mustafa Hamid, doctor, gave me one advice and told me, David, you have a responsibility to transform this institution so that when the success story of the MPP government is being told, Ghana Publishing will be prominent in the transformation of this country. And I'm happy to sit here on this platform to announce that after being managing director of Ghana Publishing from 2017, 1st of September, up to date, today, we are able to say that the success stories we have had over the last few years are categorized under the following: quality enhancement, cost reduction, and of course, profit maximization. Now, the company has been in existence for close to 60 years. And it was enacted by an act of parliament that gives the power to the company under the 1992 constitution as the body responsible for doing what we call gazettes.
Okay.
If you want to change your name, Ghana Publishing is the constitutionally mandated body that passes the Gazette. And the Gazette is like a journal owned by the state. Acts of Parliament that are passed within the 21 days of maturity period must be gazetted at the Ghana Publishing. And when Parliament brings the act and we gazette it, within the 21 days of its maturity, after it's gazetted and passed into law, then we sell the gazetted laws of Parliament.
Okay.
After we give the first 1,000 printed copies to Parliament for their internal distribution and consumption, then we market it to the public. So we hold the exclusive legal right to the parliamentary acts that are passed.
Do people buy?
Yes.
Really?
That's our mainstay, I mean.
People buy them?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Parliament gives us the exclusive right, and the Constitution of the country vests the power to gazette in the bosom of the Ghana Publishing, established by an Act of Parliament. So the Act of Parliament that are passed are not sold on the streets. They are sold only at Ghana Publishing. Parliament is not in the business of selling acts to make profit. Parliament is a subvented arm of government. So when Parliament makes the laws and pass them through Ghana Publishing, the constitutionally mandated body to pass them into law, after we gazette them, then we hold the exclusive right to market them.
Okay.
Now, we are not going to sit to consistently rely only on the publication and the sale of Act of Parliament. We need to diversify. Any moment from now, Parliament will decide to establish their own printing firm, and after they pass the laws, they will only come to Ghana Publishing and do what the Constitution confers on us, the Gazette, and decide to take the business aspect and component from us. If they so desire to do that, we are knocked out of business.
Okay.
So what do? We needed to diversify. Beyond the Gazette, we are into commercial printing.
I see that one of your mission is to primarily print and publish.
Print and
Very
publish.
high quality books and stationery for educational institutions, government department, and the general public at competitive prices.
Absolutely. Competitive prices. Now, we, over the last few years, apart from concentrating on the constitutionally mandated role and core mandate of Gazette, to also look at the area of printing. So, we print sensitive government documents. When the Office of the President needs large volumes of confidential document printed like budget, if you add 10 to a budget statement to be delivered by the finance minister as a private printing house, and on the day of delivery in Parliament, a figure is changed from what the finance minister is originally going to read as an allocated fund, because it landed in the hands of an unscrupulous printer. Then you would appreciate the sense of confidentiality therein lies in engaging potentially the state printing firm. So now we get to the point where we must appreciate the fact that there was a lot of wisdom in state institutions, even printing ballot papers. But when I assumed office, I realized that previous elections, Ghana Publishing hadn't been actively involved in the printing of the ballot papers because of lack of capacity. The areas we wanted to concentrate our effort on has to do with equipping the company with sophisticated machines to be able to remain competitive in the printing industry, so that if you do your statutory mandate of gazetting and you get into the open market and we are to print 16 million copies of ballot sheets, and companies put in bids at the Electoral Commission, and Ghana Publishing also displays competence in executing this job, and you are given a part of the contract, you have the machines, you have the human resource capacity, you have the skills, you have the technical expertise and all that to execute. We tested our potency in the year 2016. In the year 2020. I assumed office in 2017. I had the opportunity to embark on aggressive infrastructure reforms. I also got the support of management, the board of directors, sector minister, very phenomenal group of leaders. We came together, and the first point was to embark on aggressive infrastructure drive. The company was in a mess. There is a video we have documented and we call it Publishing Then and Publishing Now. Maybe later I'll get a copy for you. So we looked at the infrastructure, the physical outlook of the company. The very property that Ghana Publishing sits on the Barnes Road and the 3-story building had been leased to a private investor.
The infrastructure was for the state.
It's for the state.
Part
of it.
But it had been leased.
Had been leased
for
to
what?
A bank.
Okay.
Then was called Royal Bank.
Okay.
Now under the Consolidated Bank.
Yeah.
So that is how the company had sunk before we assumed office. We looked at infrastructure. We invested heavily in machines. And after that, we invited the Electoral Commission to come and take a tour at the facility to convince themselves of our ability to deliver quality printing job of those sensitive security documents. Of course, ballot papers are classified as security documents.
Okay.
So there was the need for the Electoral Commission as part of the processes involved in the selection of companies to embark on the printing of the ballot papers. And to the ultimate surprise and total dismay of the Electoral Commission, they arrived at our premises, saw the machines, saw our capacity, the human resource we displayed. In a matter of 1 hour of touring the company, they realized we had acquired new machines. The infrastructure had changed. Now, when we are printing ballot papers, the political parties deploy their reps to sit by the machine to monitor the process. Because of the security nature of elections in this country, the whole process is also monitored by the security services, the police, the BNI. So it's a heavy process. We were lucky to have printed ballot papers for the 2020 election. And for me, this is a clear testament of how we had then successfully transformed the company from one point to another. Now, it didn't end there. The essence of leadership is to provide a sense of direction. After we invest in human resource development and build the capacity of our staff, enhance their capacity and their skill sets are enhanced, we empowered young men and women to quickly embark on skills training and development. We sponsored some people to quickly go and do their masters in other related fields which are directly beneficial to the company. Finally, to agencies that we report to the finance ministry, after the accounting and finance year comes to an end, 31st December, and our books are put together and given to an external auditor appointed by the Auditor General, there comes the responsibility of auditing our books to determine how management have led the company. And I'm happy to announce to you that in 2022, last year, after this year our accounts were audited, the Ghana Publishing Company Limited made profit.
Of how much?
I may not be able to put the figures on air, off head, but the bottom line is, we lifted the company from a company whose asset had been floated on the capital market and sold, and others put on divestiture implementation program and sold. Others had been rented. Properties of the company had been sold. Others rented through the divestiture implementation project and program and all that. But if today, as we speak presently, the Ghana Publishing Company Limited is a profit-making entity. The Ghana Publishing Company Limited, I was in Switzerland in 2019 with our sector minister, where we had the opportunity to tour a facility in Germany and Switzerland called KBA Notasis. They exposed us to what we call proper security printing, the highest level of printing, banknotes, the highest level, banknotes, currency, checkbooks. Now, we got to a certain point where, by the grace of God and through quality leadership from our sector ministers and board of directors and management of the company, we were able to position the company on a certain pedestal where it became attractive for foreign investors to express interest in a joint venture with us to get into security printing. And that landed us in Switzerland for about 2 trips, and also Germany for 2 trips, where our sector minister succeeded in getting cabinet approval for Ghana Publishing to go into security printing.
So are you not
this
into
is a
security
company that was struggling to pay the salary of its staff.
So are you not into security printing?
Now, a state institution like Ghana Publishing is signing an MOU with a foreign multinational to get into a joint venture, a build, operate, and transfer agreement, or a build, finance, and operate, and manage, and all these things call for a lot of collaboration. The procurement processes, the statutory processes, and all that takes a little bit of time. But the most important thing that we needed to clear as a hurdle was a cabinet approval, which our sector minister has successfully secured for us. So we are in the process, the procurement process, because it has an international dimension, maybe the successful company that tendered in application and bid to be considered, and who will win the bid likely could be a foreign company, and that gives the whole procurement process another dimension, which looks a bit complex. However, we are still in the process. So the point I'm trying to...
Since when did this start?
I think the approval...
2019, right?
Yes, the whole process started, the external visit and all the collaboration.
And this is 2023, 4 years. So you've still not been through with the process?
It is very difficult to get a company to come on board with over $20 to $40 million worth of investment in a company owned by the state, where the government of Ghana is not ready to give any form of sovereign guarantee, any form of letter of comfort, because the company is strictly owned by the state. However, the state is not ready to invest any form of equity, apart from our land and maybe the business opportunity that we rely on as a state institution responsible for the printing of government documents.
So this venture would let you print money or just checkbooks?
We are at the point of discussing what is the level of security printing the company will venture into. We came out and got the services of a consultant who published the adverts, and in the publication, we stated security printing. So when we invited bids from companies, we are venturing into security printing. So finally, if the proposals come and the committee sits on it, the company that is likely to get into a joint venture with Ghana Publishing, depending on the quality of machines you come to Ghana Publishing with, then we decide our machines are potent enough to go into currency printing. We have the international certification by virtue of the machines and the levels you have brought. Then we discuss that. Don't forget, Ghana prints close to 400,000 passports every year, the booklets.
Yeah.
The passport booklet alone. We do about 400 to 450,000 booklets per annum. If a state institution like Ghana Publishing is giving this contract internally to print, the degrees we award in our various universities, quite sensitive documents.
Okay.
Checkbooks. There are private individuals who own printing firms that are into this business, but the government itself can get actively involved in this whole printing.
But mustn't we first decide on what type of security printing we want to do, to then influence our choice of a company to partner?
Now, what happens is that in the procurement process and in detailing out the quality of service, we are expected to mention security levels. Security printing levels. Security printing level 1, security printing level 2, security printing level 3. The procurement laws does not give you the luxury to determine. It's like going to buy a car. The public procurement law and the act that passes the law tells you you do not have to mention the brand of car you are going to buy.
So,
but the service.
So the process we are working on now,
Absolutely.
Which level have you chosen?
Now,
security
we are looking at the security printing at the highest level. But eventually, there are 3-4 companies that have put in bids. Finally, if the committee certain on the proposals, look into the proposals, and then the PPA sets a committee to get into the proposals presented. And then finally, it comes out that the company that wins the bid and the tender to partner Ghana Publishing has the capacity to do this kind of printing. And we apply for international licenses and clearance, and we can do to that level. I'm not too sure about currency printing.
Okay.
Of course, that's a different level of discussion. But basically,
passport
we are
printing
looking
and all
at
of that.
printing that goes to the highest level of security, not necessarily currency.
Okay.
That may be a different level of discussion.
Okay.
So the point is, if we have been able to manage the company from the level where we took it, and as it stands currently, we have the capacity to venture into a joint venture agreement with international bodies that would display capacity to do the highest level of security printing. I think we are going somewhere. Now we are making profits. And then the board of directors will decide how much is the profit. Is it good enough for us to declare dividend after we make profit to the shareholders, the finance ministry, or we are re-injecting the profit into the expansion of the company? Now that brings me to another level of the discussion.
I'll let you go on, but since you took over, is this the first year you are declaring profit?
No, we made losses in a few of the instances, but we declared profit. I think 2018 there was profit because I managed the institution from 2017. I think the next year, 2018, there was profit. And in the COVID era, 2020, 2021, those are were difficult times. And you know, COVID and printing were so directly correlated because our raw material, paper, is imported from China. COVID. So for 2 years, you couldn't even get paper to print. And who will embark on commercial printing when schools were on hold? So really, institutions that suffered a lot within the COVID and then of course even the post-COVID, Ghana Publishing, not Ghana Publishing per se, but the printing and publishing industries were equally not spared. So those years were difficult for us as well. And subsequently 2021, 2022, those have been good years. And I'm speaking specifically to the year 2022, last year. We made some good profit. I'm hoping that this year, when our accounts are audited for next year, we would also have something good and significant to show. And as we speak now, we are aggressively embarking on nationwide expansion of Ghana Publishing.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, Ghana Publishing Company Limited had branches all over the nation. We had regional branches in Northern Region, in Tamale. We even had branches off the main premises. We are operating currently on the Barnes Road. We have the fishing harbor. The last time I chanced on a document that says that we had about 4.5 acres of land in Tema Fishing Harbor where the production site of Ghana Publishing was. And then we had one on the Christianborg Highway. Now, all these properties were put on divestiture and sold.
Okay.
So as we speak now, the whole of the Ghana Publishing Company Limited sits on about 2.5 acre property opposite Accra City Hotel, just after Accra Polytechnic. And that is the only office the company has. All the regional offices have been sold under the divestiture implementation program. Now, the board of directors gave us approval and management has commenced the re-establishment of regional offices and branches of the Ghana Publishing. We did a trend analysis of our stream of income, and we concluded at a management level that a huge chunk of our business opportunities are coming from Ashanti region and the 3 northern regions put together. So we started the establishment of the first regional office under our management in Ashanti region. Over the last 6 months, I think this whole program was started in the year 2019, 2020. We got the board approval to start the regional branches. We started a feasibility study in 2021 after COVID, stakeholder engagement, getting the property from SIC in Kumasi. So as we speak now, we are hoping that within the year 2023, as we speak, we are hoping that before the year ends, we will inaugurate the Ashanti Regional Branch of Ghana Publishing. I've had the opportunity to visit the place, the progress going on so far. It looks so okay. We are in touch with our board of directors and the sector minister. We are hoping to set a date, and before the year ends, we're looking at November, we shall go and do a proper inauguration of the first regional office and branch of Ghana Publishing after the company was virtually brought on its knees.
And once it has happened before that the regional offices were diversified, what measures are you putting in place to ensure that it doesn't reoccur?
Political parties come to office to govern based on ideologies. There are instances where managers of the company believe if the company is not doing well, sell it off. When we assumed office at Ghana Publishing, we believed that with prudent management of the resources, we should be able to manage the company well and even establish more branches. I do not think the NPP as a political tradition believe in the principle, run down a state institution to its knees and sell it to cronies. That is not what we believe in. And we as managers of state institutions under this administration have potently manifested and demonstrated this particular position. I can speak on authority to institutions like the State Housing. You and I will agree. These are state institutions that are bringing potent transformation to the face of management and leadership. I can speak to authorities like Nana Komien's STC. A lot is happening under the management of these institutions. So I'm speaking from our political traditions point of view. We manage state institutions well. We don't run the institutions down to sell it off. Ghana Publishing is a classical example.
So is that your strategy?
One of the strategies we as a government are putting in place is the revamping of state institutions that were formerly down.
Yes, and I'm asking, what is the strategy to ensure that the situation when these ones were collapsed don't reoccur?
You see, I remember when we inaugurated our new machines and a new production unit at Ghana Publishing, our Sector Minister, the Honorable Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, made a statement. He says, inaugurating the new machines and the new production unit is good, but sustainability, maintenance culture is equally important. But again, you will agree with me. I will not be the managing director of Ghana Publishing forever. Subsequent managers and leaders have the responsibility to take it from where we left off to another level.
But a good leader is the one who leaves the company or the institution in the care of another leader.
Now, this is where
he does.
This is where the point comes in. The few times I get the opportunity to discuss the success story of Ghana Publishing, I don't lose sight of the contribution of management and staff. The right thinking. The right thinking. If I take leave for 2 weeks and I leave the office should not grind to a halt because the managing director is on leave. We have equipped the human resource component of the company such that we have 5 directors of the company. Over the last 5 years or 6 years, the directors that I came to meet, 1060, they went on retirement. We got the opportunity to recruit fresh men and women. We have never in the history of Ghana Publishing had an IT department. Today, we have an IT directorate. So all the services of Ghana Publishing are digitalized. Now, when you come to Ghana Publishing and you want to do Gazette, we don't go through the regular processes of rendering the service. We have built an IT infrastructure that acts as a server and a backup system so that all the services we deliver are stored. So if you do Gazette and you change your name today, after 5 years under our leadership, when you come back, we don't need to print and reproduce. Now, when the embassies get application for people who have changed their name to travel, traditionally they write to us for confirmation. Now, we are going to give the embassies a limited access to our central database for them to electronically check and access the authenticity of the Gazette you have presented to confirm your identity. So, after we do all these things, the systems we have built internally will have the responsibility to internally act as control mechanisms. So either we are in or not, we have built the human resource capacity of the staff. We have built the company infrastructure. And it must be self-sustaining, even when we live to become MP of Nkoko.
That brings me to politics then. But since you are excited about the profit that you're making, so you should have been able to tell us how much you've made. But you've still not told us.
You know, some of this information, you need board clearance before you come.
Okay. All right.
Before you come in, you know.
That is
but
fine.
you see, the streams of income at Ghana Publishing was one of the first things we looked at. Where do we get our money from? How do we control it so that there are no leakages? We introduced electronic payment system. We introduced just even a simple mobile money payment system. Now we are developing what we call e-gazette, electronic gazette.
Okay.
We do what we call paperless gazette. Our services are now paperless. We don't fill forms, we don't write forms. Everything
digitized
is
your
digitalized now.
Okay.
Now we are going beyond digitalization and we are going into electronic service delivered. So if I want to change my name after I marry from Miss to Mrs., all I have to do is I go to the Commissioner of Oath and swear the affidavit and upload the affidavit on my phone, send it to the Ghana Publishing Portal, pay electronically, and after 4 working days, the gazette is delivered to me electronically. That's e-gazette.
Oh, okay.
So the comfort with which you make the payment online is such that you pay directly into the company's ADB account. The managing director does not sit in his office for sales to be carried from farm store to me. Before the next day, we bank it. Revenue control mechanisms.
Okay.
This is what we did, and in a period of 3 years, we were able to cut down wastages and we're able to internally generate funds to buy new machines, to go to Kumasi, to establish new regional branches, even though previous managers rather sold the asset of the company. So you get the difference.
And you pay your workers now, yes?
Of course. We are strictly an IGF company. Recently, in this year, we have implemented a 20% salary review for the staff.
Okay.
That's what we have done. We took over a company that was paying its first degree holders something around 950 cedis in 2017. Very difficult. However, with the support of the board and the sector minister, we are gradually gravitating the company to a point where salaries will be very okay. So we're doing it incrementally, looking at our sales projection, looking at our operational costs internally, then we decide, we do a proper analysis of our streams of income to determine our ability to pay.
So how much did you pay your first degree holders?
I must check the records to know how much the previous month's salary were, because...
But you mentioned the 800 and 900. You should be able to tell us a range now.
Yeah, but that was then. But currently, as we speak, last year we introduced about 17.5% pay rise. This year we have done 20% pay rise. And don't forget, salaries are increased incrementally based on ability to pay. And the institution Ghana Publishing is one of the heavily unionized organizations. If you study the history of the company, it's a heavily unionized organization. So wage and salary negotiations are done annually with the union. Board of directors give approval. We, as the managers of the company, have the responsibility to look at our income stream. Every year, how much do we generate internally? Because we are not on subvention. We have close to 300 staff. You must do business to generate your own resources, to pay the 250 staff, pay statutory deductions, make profits, go to establish new regional offices, buy new machines. So really, you see the grace coming.
Yeah.
You see the grace.
I mean, that's why you were appointed. So,
we are paid to think, and we are doing exactly that.
So with the next ballot printing, how many are you expecting to? And this is my last question on there. Then we go to Nkoko.
When the Electoral Commission advertises the work for printing of ballot papers, of course the EC have their own internal arrangement to determine which publishing or printing house gets which region. Okay. If we have our own way, with the new machines we have acquired, with the capacity we have delivered to our staff through training and development, and with our current dispensation and disposition, if even the Electoral Commission gives us the 16 million ballot papers,
you can print.
We can deliver.
Okay.
However, there are private individuals who express interest in this venture. Of course, it will be very unfair for state institutions to take all the jobs. But we will appear very competitive when we tender our bid. We will display competencies through our machines and equipment and human capacity and all that. And after that, we'll make a case at the Electoral Commission's bidding table to get a good chunk, so that the state will get actively involved in the execution of this contract, and then we'll get more money. And when we do, we will reinvest it in the company. Because from Kumasi Ashanti region, we are going to Western region next year to establish another regional office.
Okay.
That is what MPP does when we are in government.
I hear.
We manage better.
I hear. A marking scheme will be done by Ghanaians.
By Ghanaians.
In 2024. But you look so confident of winning in Nkoko. Why is that?
Well, I needed to say good morning to my people in Nkoko and Kwewu watching me. I am sure the good people of Nkoko, I tried once, it didn't work. I did not win. That was my first time of trying. I am looking forward to trying again when the party gives clearance for us to express interest in the contest. And I am saying it in all modesty and humility that the good people of Nkoko will look at how well we have served at the national level and at the local level, how well we have served the people of Nkoko and Kwewu. And they will look at these factors and then give me the opportunity to represent them at the highest level in parliament. The essence of leadership is to give direction. When I go to Nkoko and I meet my clansmen, this is the simple message I tell them. The President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, expressed confidence in my ability to lead and manage a state institution. I can speak confidently. We have not failed over there. I think this gives me a proper dispensation to appeal to the people of Nkoko in all humility. Give me the opportunity, and I'm sure they will. I will not fail them. I will not fail them.
Okay. If you say you won't fail them, we'll look forward to the time when we'll bring you in the studio and ask you, you said I will not fail them, but here we are. I have to go for a break, but just in a minute, if you can tell me what would form, the basis of attainment for as an MP for Nkoko, such that when you go contrary, we can say that based on that you failed.
The people respond to development. As humans as we are, parliamentarians, according to the 1992 Constitution, have a responsibility to go there to enact laws. But after you go there to enact laws, you are a representative of the people that voted for you. Their welfare, their skills development, their human resource needs must be prioritized. That is how come constituents are expecting to see you every weekend when you are not in parliament. Listen to their needs. If there is an opportunity, bring some and let the people know their representative over there brought opportunities down there. That is all that they are looking forward to. Come down, meet them, listen to them. If there are opportunities, give some to them. People graduate from universities, and after that, they expect that when there are opportunities in town, give them some. The social capital with which political opportunities are distributed is directly correlated to the kind of MP you put in parliament. I'll repeat that. There is a direct correlation between the opportunities in government and the quality of member of parliament you put in parliament. Okay. Some MPs have the ability to lobby and get better and bigger opportunities than others. So, look around you. The quality of MP you put in parliament, does he have the social connection and the social capacity and ability to lobby well so that the central cake, when it's being distributed,
you get your fair share. Okay.
Because every nation is limited in resources. So your ability to lobby and pull better will determine what you bring onto your constituents who voted for you. Okay. Some parliamentarians have been there and have not seen development in their constituencies for decades. Some went there in one term and they are doing magic. So I repeat, there is a direct correlation between the outcome you derive from your MP you put in parliament and the opportunities that are shared in government. Okay. So the people have a choice to choose well. And I can say in all modesty and in all humility, having been with my people in Nkoko over the last few years, they will look at my commitment level in the party, they will look at my contribution in government, and they will look at the closeness I've established with them over the last decades, and they will give me the opportunity to serve their interests.
Confident of winning.
And I will not fail them.
Okay. You will not fail them.
But you know, in the delivery of the leadership, you have to win the election first.
Yeah.
I'm more passionate about winning the election. In spite of all the brilliant plans you have, if you don't win the election, you can't get the opportunity to govern and to bring these opportunities. So we'll be fine.
So your prayer is that you win.
We'll be fine.
When you win your primaries, I'll bring you here to find out from you. Then you give us, blueprint of what would underline your leadership of Mukoko. But all the best to you. I wish you all the best in this journey.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Let's see how this goes. So that's the MD of the Ghana Publishing Company, David Asante. Thank you for coming. Yeah, and I wish you all the best. This one says it is the birthday of quiz mistress of the National Science and Maths Quiz. She is also the Dean of the School of Engineering Sciences at the University of Ghana, Professor Elsie Efa Kaufman. You are 54 years today, and we say God bless you. This is coming from your lovely mother, Grace Efa, and from all of us at Joy. Well, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we have the Mampong Technical College of Education, MAMTech, in the house. We know that when it comes to technology education, there's a lot that they're doing, and that's we're going to find out how it's shaping Ghana's educational landscape. So don't go away, stay with us. Good day.